Good afternoon, Seawolves. We hope you had a restful winter break and welcome back to another edition of the Stony Brook Media Group. I'm Miles Reese.
And I'm Anthony O'Brien. So Miles, how was your winter break?
My winter break was pretty good, a little chaotic with the family at my house, but it was pretty good all around. What about you?
Oh, it was great. I celebrated Christmas with my family. I hung out with some friends. It was awesome.
That's great, Anthony. Love to spend time with the family during the holidays. And now let's turn it over to Miriam Gerges for the latest in news in U.S. politics.
Thank you, Miles. Welcome back to another edition of the Political Corner, where we bring you the latest in American politics. We have a lot to talk about today. Starting off, President Donald Trump is ending his third week back in the White House with a wave of executive actions. One of his debated decisions is freezing federal aid. A memo from the Office of Management and Budget ordered a halt on all grants and loans to ensure that they align with the administration's priorities. However, a federal judge stepped in and blocked the pause before it could take effect. On immigration, Trump has declared drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, giving law enforcement broader powers to target them. He also ordered the relaunch of the border wall construction, which is a signature project from his first term, though the funding details remain unclear. In a major shift, Trump issued an executive order eliminating all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs within the federal government. The administration says the move is meant to focus on merit-based hiring, but opponents argue it rolls back years of progress on workplace diversity. In foreign policy, Trump has announced a freeze on U.S. foreign aid, saying he wants a full review of spending priorities. He also signed an order to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization, making this the second time he has moved to exit the UN health body. With executive orders touching nearly every aspect of government, Trump's actions are already facing legal challenges and setting the stage for a contentious return to power. Several of Trump's executive orders have been blocked by judges in the past week. One of Trump's Day 1 executive orders included an order to end birthright citizenship. Yesterday, 2 federal judges blocked the injunction, citing it as unconstitutional and goes against the 14th Amendment. Additionally, Trump's order to create financial incentives to push out federal workers was blocked by a U.S. district judge in Boston. And the latest order related to the transfer of transgender women to male prisons, as well as stopping medical treatment relating to gender transitions, have been halted. These halts come after Trump's numerous Day 1 executive orders, in which 54 executive orders have been signed. With the start of another Trump term, the nomination process for his new cabinet is actively underway. Some notable nominations, like former Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, former Fox News anchor Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary, and former Florida State Attorney General Pam Bondi for U.S. Attorney General, have been confirmed. Looking ahead, the Senate has scheduled confirmation hearings for additional nominees. Lori Chavez-DeRemer, nominated for Secretary of Labor, is set to appear before the Senate next Wednesday. Chavez-DeRemer, a former Republican congresswoman, has received support from labor unions and advocates for Protecting the Right to Organize Act, which aims to strengthen workers' rights. Additionally, Linda McMahon, who was nominated for Secretary of Education, will have her confirmation hearing on Thursday. McMahon is known for support of charter schools and school choice initiatives. The administration has indicated plans to reduce the Department of Education's influence with proposals to eliminate the department pending in Congress. And that's all from me. Back to you, Miles and Anthony at the desk.
Consumers are calling for a boycott on Target after the retail chain's rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Target's move comes as a response to President Trump's attack on diversity-related initiatives in the federal government, as well as corporations like McDonald's, Meta, and Walmart scaling back on their DEI programs. The company was once seen as a leader in initiatives supporting the BIPOC and LGBTQ communities, providing opportunities to small businesses owned by people of color. In response to its gutting of DEI-related initiatives, Twin Cities Pride, an LGBTQ organization based in Minneapolis, cut Target as a sponsor, rejecting its $50,000 donation and successfully raising over $70,000 from individual donors to compensate for the lost funding.
Today we have updates on that deadly D.C. plane collision last week involving a commercial airlines jet and a U.S. Army helicopter. An investigation is still underway as to what caused the crash, but newly discovered data highlights signs of a possible altitude discrepancy. And since then, crews have been working tirelessly to extract remnants from the Potomac River crash site. As of now, the remains of 66 people have been recovered and identified in what's believed to be the deadliest national air disaster in 2 decades. We'll have more on this as the FAA continues to investigate. In February, we celebrate Black History Month and the impact that African Americans have had on our society. This past Wednesday, Stony Brook University hosted its annual Black History Month Union Takeover event, and our reporter Zoe Busowitz has a story.
This past Wednesday, a takeover at the Student Union marked the beginning of Stony Brook University's Black History Month celebrations. Ashley Harris, a coordinator for DICE, Diversity, Intercultural, and Community Engagement on campus, shared with us why these celebrations are so essential to our campus community.
These events are really meant to illuminate and acknowledge the existence of all the diverse populations that we already have on campus.
The 2025 National Black History Month theme is African Americans and Labor. A statement made by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History explains this choice of theme. Quote, Black people's work has been transformational throughout the United States, Africa, and the diaspora. The 2025 Black History Month theme, African Americans and Labor, sets out to highlight and celebrate the potent impact of this work. At Stony Brook University, this theme is being honored by various upcoming events, including one shared with us by Judy Jacquas, Associate Director of DICE.
On the 17th, Monday, February 17th, we have a Black faculty and meet and greet with the School of Health Professions.
There are a number of professional, artistic, sports, and cultural events happening throughout February on Stony Brook University's campus. These celebrations remind us that the story of Black resilience, community, culture, joy, and contribution to our nation continues to unfold every day because Black history is American history.
Let's now turn to Imra Ahmed and Angelique Powell with science and health updates.
Welcome to this week's edition of Health Tech Today, where you get your latest news in science and technology. I'm Imra Ahmed.
And I'm Angelique Powell.
Google has just opened up its Gemini 2.0 AI model to the public, meaning it's no longer exclusive to developers and testers. The collection includes models that handle everything from high-volume tasks to coding, with some models designed to be more cost-effective. This release is part of Google's bigger push to create AI agents that can take care of complex tasks for you. It's basically a virtual assistant that does all the work. And they're not alone in this. Meta, Amazon, and OpenAI are all working on similar tech, so the AI race is really heating up. It looks like we're about to see a whole lot more automation in our future.
A new strain of highly pathogenic avian influenza, also commonly known as bird flu, has been found in cattle according to the United States Department of Agriculture. The new strain of bird flu, also known as D11, has only been known to affect wild birds and poultry. However, the USDA was able to detect the infection on cows through their milk testing programs. Through the program, the USDA has been able to confirm over 957 cases in 16 states. There has only been one confirmed person with D11 bird flu in Louisiana. However, the patient sadly passed away earlier this year due to underlying health conditions.
A recent study published in Nature Medicine discovered that human brains contain a surprisingly high levels of microplastics. Samples from 2024 showed up to 30 times more plastic fragments than other organs, like the kidneys and the liver. On average, the brain contained the equivalent of an entire plastic spoon's worth of microplastics. People with dementia had even higher levels of these particles. While the study doesn't claim microplastics cause dementia, researchers caution that these particles could carry harmful chemicals and disrupt normal cellular processes. To limit exposure, experts suggest reducing single plastic use plastics and avoid heating plastic containers, which may cause the release of microplastics into food.
For the first time, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration is hosting a live Twitch event aboard the International Space Station. Over 250 miles away from Earth, NASA astronauts Don Petit and Matt McDominick will talk about daily life aboard the space station, as well as their research on microgravity. The event will begin on Wednesday, February 12, around 11:45 a.m. The stream can be found on the agency's official Twitch channel at www.twitch.tv/NASA.
Wow, Ange, live from space? That's one way to make a stream truly out of this world.
I know, right? Talk about a stellar broadcast. And now, Stamatia Katsaros with the weather report.
Here's a look of foggy Port Jeff behind me, courtesy of our friends at EarthCam. Today is looking to be your typical winter day. It'll be nice during the day, skies mostly sunny, and temperatures sitting comfortably in the mid to upper 30s with a high near 41, possibly getting as low as 22. It'll be fairly breezy today, with the wind chill definitely making it feel colder, but warmer than what we can expect next week. Going into Saturday, there's a 15 to 20% chance that we might see some snow. It'll still be partly sunny with a high near 36. We could get some snow later, and then it'll be a mix of snow and sleet after about 1 a.m. Temperatures will remain the same, around 33 degrees, meaning the roads could be icy, so be careful. Sunday, there are some chances of lingering snow and rain before 9 a.m., which will be followed by more rain through 11. It'll be cloudy early in the day, but skies will clear up with a high near 40. Towards the end of the day, we'll see the clouds roll back in, with the low dropping to about 20 degrees. Starting the week on Monday, we'll see another sunny day with highs near 35 degrees. At night, expect more clouds with the low dropping to about 24. Tuesday through Wednesday will be a little more exciting, with a 50% chance of snow to start off our Tuesday. It'll be mostly cloudy with a high temperature lingering around 36, as the possibility of snow remains the same to the end of the day, sitting at low 24 degrees. That chance of snow is still there on Wednesday, but it'll be lower down to about 30%. Similar conditions as Tuesday, there will be cloudy skies with a high temperature not passing the mid-30s. We'll keep the precipitation coming for Thursday with a chance of snow and rain early in the morning, and the warmest temperature we'll see being about 40 degrees, the low sitting just above 30. We're still a bit far out there, so be sure to watch out for temperature changes and the precipitation for the days to come. Back to you.
Thank you, Stamatia. Now to Zoe Busowitz for this week's international news.
Today, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is expected to visit Guantanamo Bay following the first arrival of migrants in the notorious prison. On Wednesday, President Donald Trump sent 10 migrants to the American prison in Cuba in a new escalation of promised mass deportations. This move has been in the works since Trump's memo last week, wherein he floated sending 30,000 migrants to Guantanamo Bay. The first deportation flight to Guantanamo landed on Wednesday. Aboard were 10 Venezuelans with alleged ties to Venezuelan prison gang Tren de Aragua. The decision to deport to Guantanamo has sparked outcry from critics ranging from international human rights organization Human Rights Watch to former Guantanamo detainee Mansour Ahmad Salah Al-Daifi. Al-Daifi called the move a, quote, moral failure and called the prison a, quote, symbol of injustice and the abuse of power in a column in The Guardian. He, like many others, views the choice to deport to Guantanamo as further criminalizing the migrant population in America. President Donald Trump is also facing major backlash for proposing that the U.S. take control of the Gaza Strip and displace Palestinians to redevelop the bombed-out land. The comment made in his Tuesday press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has prompted many world leaders to speak out. Among them are Palestine's own President Mahmoud Abbas and Middle Eastern neighbors Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia, as well as British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, and the French Foreign Ministry. All cite the international legal implications of denying Palestinians the ability to return to Gaza. Domestically, Trump's plan has support along party lines. Republican Speaker of the House Mike Johnson called it a, quote, bold, decisive action with peaceful intentions. Across the aisle, Democrat Tim Kaine, a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, called a U.S. takeover of Gaza, quote, deranged, nuts, and a magnet for trouble. On Tuesday, Sweden experienced the worst mass shooting in its history. A gunman opened fire on an adult education center, killing 10 before turning the gun on himself, bringing total casualties to 11. In an interview with BBC, an 18-year-old student at the school stated, quote, a lot of people my age are frightened to go to school. We feel like Sweden has become like America. The things you see on television have happened here. Swedish police have not yet announced the shooter's motive, though early reports suggest that this was a hate-based crime. The affected school, Campus Risberska, offers Swedish language classes for immigrants and programs for people with intellectual disabilities. Many of the victims were Syrian and Bosnian immigrants. This attack has the immigrant community in Sweden shaken and fearful. The Swedish government has announced that it plans to tighten its already strict gun laws. Nuclear energy is on the rise in Southeast Asia, with multiple countries looking to it as an answer to their growing energy needs. According to the International Energy Agency, Southeast Asia's energy needs are projected to account for 25% of the world's energy demand growth by 2035. To meet this demand, the Philippines is refurbishing the Bataan nuclear power plant, a facility in the middle of construction before it was shuttered in the 80s. Indonesia has also announced plans to build 20 nuclear power plants, with the first prototype slated to be finished by 2028. Vietnam has revived plans for 2 nuclear power plants. Malaysia is revisiting their own plans. Singapore is cooperating with the United States in building a pool of nuclear energy experts, and other countries are also showing interest. The Nuclear Energy Institute states, quote, "Because nuclear energy can generate carbon-free electricity 24/7, 365, unlike any other form of energy, it is essential to creating our clean energy future." These advances in clean energy are promising developments for the future of our planet's environment. Back to you at the desk, Anthony.
Thanks, Zoe. And now on to the world of entertainment with Jake Aricchio and Frankie Kuhn.
Welcome, Seawolves, to a special Grammy Awards edition of the Media Minute. I'm Jake Aricchio.
And I'm Frankie Kuhn.
Well, Frankie, there was a bit of an elephant in the arena on Sunday night, that of course being the wildfires that ravaged Los Angeles last month. The show went on with those affected in mind.
The proceedings opened with a cover of Randy Newman's I Love L.A. The collab featured a collection of greats like John Legend, Sheryl Crow, and Dawes. Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga later performed the Mamas and Papas hit classic California Dreamin'.
Stars wore blue heart-shaped pins to support relief efforts, and host Trevor Noah later announced viewers at home had donated $7 million towards wildfire relief.
Shifting gears towards the awards themselves, Beyoncé finally took home Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter. She had previously been nominated for the Album of the Year 4 separate times before taking home the award this year.
The victory makes Beyoncé the first black woman to take home Album of the Year in the 21st century, with Lauryn Hill being the last to accomplish this feat in 1999.
Kendrick Lamar won Song of the Year for Not Like Us, becoming the second hip-hop act to win the award after Childish Gambino's This Is America.
Chappell Roan burst onto the scene over the last year, being nominated for 6 Grammys Sunday night, taking home the award for Best New Artist. As a cherry on top, she performed Pink Pony Club at the ceremony, a song that reached 13th on the U.S. Billboard's Hot 100 list.
Her speech called out the industry at large for unfair labor practices, demanding that record labels treat all their artists as valued employees, with insurance protection and livable wages.
A powerful statement from a powerful figure on a powerful stage. Well, that'll do it for Media Minute this week. Let's head back to the desk with Thomas Pardo, ready to give us the latest in sports. Tom?
Super Bowl 59 is set to kick off on Sunday night starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time in a rematch of Super Bowl 57. The Philadelphia Eagles will look to avenge their loss to the Kansas City Chiefs from just 2 years ago. In that game, Harrison Butker kicked the game-winning field goal with just 8 seconds remaining in regulation to give the Chiefs a 38-35 lead. Kansas City is looking to become the first team in the Super Bowl era to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. It is sure to be a fantastic game that will be filled with exciting moments. Last weekend, the 38th annual Royal Rumble took place at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The night was filled with exciting and surprising moments, including a returning Charlotte Flair winning the Women's Royal Rumble match and Jey Uso winning the Men's Royal Rumble match, with both punching their ticket to the main event of WrestleMania 41. Later in the night, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes defended his title against Kevin Owens in the ladder match, where both the undisputed WWE Championship and Winged Eagle Championship were suspended above the ring. Rhodes was able to retain after he hit Owens with an Alabama slam through a ladder outside of the ring, then climbed up a ladder inside the ring and grabbed both titles. A wild NBA trade deadline came and went Thursday afternoon after leaving seismic shifts in the league's landscape. The chaos began Saturday night when the Dallas Mavericks traded cornerstone Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Dallas netted Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a future first-round pick in return for the franchise face. Along with Doncic, the Lakers also acquired Markieff Morris and Maxi Kleber from the Mavericks. Several former All-Stars found themselves on new teams as De'Aaron Fox, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Andrew Wiggins, and Jimmy Butler all swapped jerseys. In total, a record 63 players removed in the deadline that's bound to shape the NBA for years to come. That's all from me. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tommy. Up next, we have our reporter, Brittany Dietz, who got to witness Stony Brook University's Chinese New Year opening ceremony.
Lunar New Year may have passed on January 29th, but the celebration still continues here at Stony Brook University. I'm right outside of Jasmine in the Wing Center to join in on festivities and see how the campus community is embracing this tradition.
The Chinese Lunar New Year, also known as the Spring Festival, marks the beginning of the lunar calendar and symbolizes renewal, reunion, and fresh beginnings.
It's like a time for family and friends to reunite. It's a time that we celebrate together and share good food, do some activities together, talk about what's happening the new year.
2025 is the year of the snake, and in the Chinese zodiac, the snake embodies wisdom and transformation.
Snakes are very patient when they hunt, right? They also shed their skins, so by shedding that skin, we're shedding the old and having new for the new year, right? So always renewing.
Jasmine served traditional Chinese meals for students and faculty to enjoy. The menu consisted of rice cake soup, served with bulgogi, japchae, Sichuan boiled fish, served with scallion ginger chicken, spring rolls, and many more. Accompanied with dinner was a show performed by members of authentic Shaolin Kung Fu. Showcasing the traditional Southern Lion dance, they have been entertaining Stony Brook's community for the past 10 years. The lions danced all throughout Jasmine, interacting with the crowd as they went along. And some people shared why it's important that Stony Brook continues to celebrate this holiday.
And I think it's also just a great way for people from other cultures to kind of know about Chinese New Year, like if they're not from China or like just wanted to know about it.
For people to really know other people's cultures, and even second and third generation Asians that live here, some of them don't even know their own culture, so to see it would be really nice.
From the delicious food to the exciting performances, Stony Brook has shown that the spirit of Lunar New Year goes beyond just one day. This has been Brittany Dietz reporting for the Stony Brook Media Group.
What an amazing story. Thank you, Brittany. You know, it's so great to see the university celebrate such a rich culture. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree.
And that's all we have for you today, Seawolves. I'm Miles Reese.
And I'm Anthony O'Brien. Have a great weekend, Seawolves.